Let me start with what exactly business analyst is and what main primary roles of business analyst in the workspace. So I'll currently just explain you through pictorial representation. Like you all know that a business analyst is someone who bridges the gap between stakeholders and IT team. IT team, when I say IT team, your developer testing, someone who develops the software by writing a code. So we call them as a IT team. Okay. So for example, uh, assume that this is stakeholder and this is IT team. IT team, I just now told you that they belongs to someone who writes codes and develop the software for, we call them as IT team. Okay, they were QA. So now the stakeholders will be uh, from client side. Okay, so there will be a client. Assume that we are currently going with the healthcare domain, right? So let's imagine our client is Apollo. Apollo. You all know that Apollo Hospital is one of the popular hospital, which is there in the India, right? So let's imagine Apollo is our client. So the stakeholders will be from Apollo client side. Okay. So what this purpose of the stakeholder is, they will provide you the requirements. Let's imagine Apollo doesn't have a Apollo hospital is looking for a dedicated application. Dedicated application in the sense they want one application to streamline their uh, business by allowing patients to book the consultation, prescription, all these. For that, currently they were going with the manual paperwork. All they were suggesting, all they were looking for that to have a dedicated application. So Apollo Hospital, now what they will do is they will reach out to one of the company. Okay, this Apollo Hospital will reach one of the software company, because software company will have a resources like developer, testing, business analyst, product owner, manager. Okay, everyone will be there and they will have a license, everything, integration, they will have a software tools, everything will be there. So now what, in reality in the IT sector, how the applications are built was, this one of the client will reach out to, let's imagine Amazon. You all know that one of the popular company, Amazon or Accenture or TCS, they will have a deal. This TCS, let's imagine, and the client Apollo will have a deal. And once they had a deal about the application building, what application that Apollo is looking, and this TCS will have an agreement and they will quote some certain budget, how much they will be charging, like how much time, how much budget it will take, everything they'll discuss. And now let's imagine this is TCS, right? Okay, now from TCS side, they need one person, that is nothing but business analyst. Okay, so TCS will hire a BA. Okay, TCS will hire a business analyst. So now what business analyst duty is? Business analyst will be gathering requirements from the stakeholder and inform the same requirements to the IT team. Okay, so now BA will come into the picture. Okay, okay. Now BA's duty is to gather requirements. So BA will be working for TCS, right? But their client is, for their client is Apollo Hospital. So Apollo will have a stakeholders. Okay, Apollo will have a stakeholders. So you might be thinking, what is the stakeholder name? So don't worry, we are going to have a detailed oriented session on stakeholder management in the next 2 or 3 sessions. So you will understand a deep understanding of stakeholder, who are stakeholder. But for now, you can keep in your mind that stakeholders are one of the key members of the project. Okay, those are having a interest of the project, we call them as stakeholders. Please make a note, someone who has a interest towards project, or those who are affecting or getting influenced in the project, we call them as stakeholders. Okay, now business analyst got hired for TCS company, and TCS had made a deal to Apollo Hospital that they are looking for one application, we would like to have you to build. So they had a deal agreement. Okay, now business analyst will be uh, gathering requirements from the stakeholders. Okay, once the requirements are gathered, the BA will be informing the same requirements, or present the same requirements to the IT team. Okay, so in simple, the business analyst definition is business analyst is someone who bridges the gap between stakeholders and IT team. This is the understanding of business analyst in a high level. What is business analyst? If someone is asking you, tell them that business analyst is someone who bridges the gap between stakeholders and IT team. So until here, is it clear for all of you? You got understanding what is exactly BA,
Yes.
why we hire, and from whom we will get hired? Shivasankari, Sakshit, you got an idea?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, very good. You got. So you might be thinking, why BA is required? Why can't these people, stakeholders, directly connect with the IT team? And if the IT team has any queries, why can't they directly connect with stakeholder? Why this BA is required? See, let's imagine you might be, okay, why this BA is required? Okay, they can directly interact each other, right? Stakeholder and IT team. Why BA with why BA involvement is needed? Anyone has any question? If yes, what is your answer for this question? Why BA
So
is
they
needed?
don't under yeah, they don't understand technical terms.
Okay, very good. What about others, Tejaswini and Shivashankari? What is your opinion on this question I have asked? Why BA
Might
is
be the
required?
tech team will develop so many, I mean, projects. So
Okay,
maybe the BA analyst will follow up the tech team regarding what the exactly the stakeholder want. They
okay,
are only following all the requirements, no, because the tech team is working on so many projects, so they'll get confused with might be the reason the BA is required
okay.
just for the
Shivashankari, what
follow.
is your opinion?
Yeah, my opinion is also the same because coming to stakeholders, they may not know any kind of technology, and it is very much difficult to communicate. So that is why business analyst is required.
Perfect. Very good. I agree. Exactly. So I'll tell you in simple words, the stakeholder will have a pure functional knowledge. Pure functional. They don't even know technicality, anything they don't know. Okay. And similar and IT team also, whatever the domain knowledge, what stakeholders, what their expectation they have, the stakeholders, this IT team will not be having a proper understanding. So there is a gap between stakeholder and IT team, right? In case they are both are communicating each other. So in order to mitigate this problem or gap, now BA will come into the picture. Okay, BA will come into the picture. So BA will have an ability to understand, manage what stakeholders are expecting from the project point of view, and as well as BA will also have an ability to communicate and understand the pain points what IT team is facing, what they are required from the project side. Everything BA will have an ability. So that was the reason business analyst plays a crucial role. Okay, so yes, so this is a fair understanding of business analyst. So as part of this communicating the information between stakeholders and IT team, BA will do a lot of things. So as part of that, the primary duty of a BA is to gather requirements. Like I was said that Apollo is looking for one of the dedicated application to make the consultation, book the online from the patient side. So earlier they used to, let's imagine, earlier this Apollo hospital doesn't have any application. All the patient has to come to the receptionist, and they need to give the slot timings by to the receptionist, and they need to write it down through pen and paper. So one has to come into reception in person in order to make the consultation. So all this is facing an issue for them, for the business. So what they are looking for one dedicated application, online mobile application. So the patients can book the consultation through from their residence. So in order to do this process, they need a application, software application they need. So yeah, so now BA, what BA does is BA will gather requirements of the that application which I was referring. Okay, so when I say, let's imagine this is a okay mobile application. So to book the consultation, let's imagine. So regarding what exactly in the application that stakeholders are expecting, like we need search bar. Okay, and let's imagine if the stakeholder is saying, I want payment mode, I want address details field, I want registration button. Okay, all whatever that's supposed to have in one application, from their interest, from the stakeholders' interest, they will give to the business analyst. So BA, as a BA, you need to note it down. That is what we call it as requirement gathering. So suppose if they are requesting, I want search bar here, I want payment module, I want register button. Upon clicking on that register button, we want sign up username, password should be shown. So in case if they are saying as a BA, you should make a note. Okay, search bar here. How I did made a notes in your own words for your reference. You need to write it down. Okay, search bar. Okay, payment mode to be there. Something you can write it down. So mainly you need to collect the requirements, whatever they are expecting, whatever they are communicating in the call. Okay, so we'll have a role play session so that you will understand better. So how exactly BA will be gathering requirement in the workspace, you will understand. Okay, we are going to have a role play session on that. And after collecting the requirement, so first duty of a BA is to collect the requirement from the stakeholders. Okay, once it is completed, now as I said that you need to bridge the gap between by stakeholders and IT team, right? You gather requirement from the stakeholder, well and fine. Now you need to communicate with the IT team, but instead of communicating the same which you have, I mean, instead of communicating or showing it in a way that you have written in your uh, own reference in a in simple words, or if you are sharing the same information to the IT team, they will not understand. For example, uh, okay, let's imagine I'll write one requirement, patient registration. Imagine that you have captured the requirement in this way. Okay, you have noted down. Something like that. Let's imagine you gather the requirement. You understood fairly as a BA. You know very well what is requirement is. But in case if you same communicate or share the same document to the IT team, will they able to understand? No, because they won't understand. So what in IT industry we do is we will create a user stories. These user stories will be able to understand for anyone, even they are coming from non-IT sector, anyone who was in the project, even if they are not attended any call and wants to know the information of the requirement, they can easily know through these stories. These stories are created by business analyst. Okay, here in the diagram, once you gather as a BA a requirement from the stakeholders, you will not be giving direct requirements to the IT team because you need to do some refinement. You need to do some uh, documentation you need to do before you hand over the requirements to the IT team. What is that called? That is nothing but user stories. Okay, user stories. So I'll show you how the user story looks like. So when you create that user story, when you create the requirement in the form of user stories, anyone can understand now. Even IT team, product owner, project manager, testing team, anyone. That is the beauty of creating a user stories by business analyst after gathering the requirement. Instead of giving the these kind of requirement to the development team, every IT company will have a user stories. So IT industry in the developers they will be developing upon considering these user stories only. They will review the user stories. After understanding only, they will go ahead with the implementing the software. I'll show you how does the user story looks like. Okay. So this is how the user story looks like, guys. Okay, there is a format that we follow in order to create a user story and acceptance criteria. So when we create, upon considering the format, everyone can understand by reading this requirement. This is what BA does. Again, you gather requirements. Okay, you'll convert the requirements into the user stories. This is how the user story looks like. Okay, so once it is completed, you will be grooming it to the development team. So when I say grooming, you will present the requirements to the now to the IT team. First of all, business analyst, after gathering requirement, you will come to the JIRA. JIRA is a tool where we used to update, track, and manage the project requirements. See, suppose you might be heard about go down, right? In many shopkeepers, they use the word called go down. So go down is a place where they store all the items of the shop, right, in the go down. So in the reality also, Jira is like a go down. So the product owner, the business analyst, whatever the requirement they are going to get, they will store in a tool called Jira. Every requirement you as a BA, you are getting right from the stakeholders here. See here, you are getting right from the stakeholder. After getting the requirements, you will be adding it in a tool called Jira. So uh, Jira is like a Godam, guys. Godam is like where we store all the items, right, of the shopkeeper. I mean, usually in the India. So, but I am just relating the Godam to Jira. So, in the Jira also, from the point of view of business analyst and product owner, where we store all the requirements here in the Jira. Okay, you will come to know more details about the Jira in the upcoming session. But let's continue what BA does. So now you created user stories. Now you have to explain to the IT team, because ultimately who is going to implement the software? IT team only, right? Because they know technical, they'll write code, they'll build the software. So now your duty as a BA is you gather requirement, you have done some shuffling by writing user stories in a way that is understandable to all the people, all the employees of the team. Once you have written, you will connect with the IT team and you will explain. So we got a requirement from the stakeholder stating that, so blah 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 blah, and you will explain by opening this. By opening this, you will explain to the IT team. They will understand, they will ask questions, you need to clarify, because you are a business analyst, you gather requirements, you know better about the requirement, right? So they cannot directly interact with the stakeholder if they are having question, because BA is there, right? So BA need to address what are the queries they have. Okay, I'll take a pause until here. Is it clear for all of you? This is Shankari,
Yes.
Lakshit.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so once you are completed creating a user stories, let's imagine the requirement which you gather from the stakeholder little bit complex. Okay, little bit complex. I'll show you. There is a complexity. Okay. Okay, let's assume one of the requirement that you gather from the stakeholder were complex. Okay, it's very hard to understand for the development team. So you are a BA. Your job is to ensure that both stakeholders and IT team were satisfied with the work. Let's imagine stakeholder provided a requirement that is very complex. As a BA, okay, as a BA, you cannot give the requirement same by writing user stories to development team, because they will also confuse, right? So in order to remove that confusion for the IT team, what you should do is you need to create a process flow diagram. I'll show you how exactly process flow diagrams are created. See, only when there is a complexity in the requirement, you as a BA, to make it even more understandable to the development team very easily, you will be creating a diagrams. Uh, yeah, such kind of diagrams you will create as a BA. Imagine if someone was going through in understanding the requirement in the text format. See, this is text format, right? The user story which we have wrote. This is text format. Let's imagine this is very hard. Okay, okay. Already one of the previous student were added. So text format. Let's imagine it's very hard to understand the requirement through text format. Now, as a BA, your job is to create a process flow diagram, because you are a BA. You need to ensure that IT team is understanding the requirement and implementing smoothly. So, in case if they feel like this user story or the requirement is complex, as a BA, you need to take initiative and create a diagram like this. See, one of the previous batch was created. So, like this, you will be creating. This is called process flow diagrams, guys. Please make a note. This is also one of the duty where BA does in workspace. Only when there is a complexity in the requirement, you will be creating a process flow diagram. Not for all the requirements which you are getting from the stakeholder, you won't be creating, guys. Please. Okay, don't. You should not create process flow diagrams for all the requirements you are getting from the stakeholder. Only when there is a complexity in the requirement, you will create a process flow diagram. So we are going to have a detail oriented session on this as well. Okay, now you are well and you have understood, and everything you are going to add in the JIRA, as I already mentioned. So once it is completed, everything, the requirements, you will be explaining to the IT team. Now IT team will start their work, because IT team has understood the requirement which you gather as a BA from stakeholder. You also made them understand even more easy by creating a process flow diagram. So understood, well and fine. Now what IT team does is they will start creating, sorry, they'll start developing the software according to the requirement. Okay, they'll build the application. Okay, they'll build the application, and once they are done with the uh, building of the application, BA will be doing testing. Okay, BA will do the testing in the sense, uh, we will be doing in a UAT testing. Okay, UAT environment. So in UAT, where BA will be doing UAT testing. What is this UAT testing? Let's say take one example. I'll take one Flipkart. Okay, Flipkart. So this is one application, let's consider. So for example, as a BA, how you need to do the testing is, after the IT team is completed the application, the implementation in the application, you should basically do the testing. That is nothing but UAT. BA will be doing UAT testing. Please make a note, okay? UAT. So how this works in the real space, real environment. For example, right now I'm in the Flipkart. Let's imagine if I'm typing bomb, should it show the relevant relevant details of bomb to order, or should it prevent or restrict for the users? Can I know your opinion, all of you? I'm just trying to order bomb. Should it show to me to order, or should it prevent? Shivashankari, Tejaswini, Sakshit, tell me.
It,
I want to
it
order
should
bomb.
prevent,
Prevent.
maybe it should come as invalid thing or something
Why?
like that.
Why? Because
Because we can't order bombs, right?
correct. So
Because it's not available. So
okay, let's imagine there was a requirement, there is expectation from the stakeholder that whenever any user is searching any bomb, they should see the bomb. Now tell me this scenario. When I was typing bomb, should I get any prevention from the application, or should I get a chance to book the bomb? In this case, if stakeholder is
Prevention.
expected, if stakeholder is requested, no, as a stakeholder, they requested to BA, like I want this. You will intake the request. So how you will do the testing? You will do testing by entering the what they were expected, right?
Yes.
See, in UAT, basically you will be testing the application in such a way like this. See what exactly we are getting, what we are sure, what we are able to see. Okay, upon clicking on this login button, what we are able to see, the fields, all these options you should do the testing, guys. This is called UAT, which is done by business analyst. Is it clear? Okay, so UAT testing you have to do negatively always. See, in this scenario, this bomb scenario is something I was done negatively, right? So ideally the Flipkart is used for what? In order to do the shopping for uh, kids wear, men's wear, and uh, women, any electronic gadgets, for these purpose only, right? The Flipkart is solely used. Agree or not, all of you?
yes.
But what I am done instead, what I'm done, what I'm doing, I'm just thinking of in a negative way, right? How the system is giving the results I would like to see. I was more curious. As a BA, I'm just typing something irrelevant in order to notice how the application system is behaving. So in the real time also, you should do the testing negatively, guys. See, any user can enter shirt, sari, pant, TV. Any user can commonly enter, but the user who cannot enter the irrelevant keywords, you should always think from that point of view. Okay, testing in the sense you should do always negatively. Okay, I'll show one of the, oh, not needed. Okay, so this is how we'll do. Okay, negative UAT testing. So once it is done, you will attend Scrum ceremonies as a BA. What is this Scrum ceremonies? So Scrum ceremonies in the sense, So we will have a 2 weeks of duration to complete these requirements from the development team. Okay. Yeah, let's imagine what is the duration of this sprint. Can anyone tell me? It is clearly says there is a 2 weeks. Can you tell me the duration, timeline, when it is starting and when it is ending? All of you.
I think it's 6th July to 20th July.
Correct. 6th July to 20th July, we call it as sprint. So in this sprint, the developers will be working upon the requirements. Okay. Now, as part of this sprint, there will be Scrum ceremonies that will take place. What is this Scrum ceremonies? Some Scrum ceremonies are nothing but a specific meetings. This will happen every two weeks. So we have various Scrum meetings. One is daily stand up, sprint review or demo. Third one is sprint retrospective. Fourth one is sprint planning. So basically, business analyst will be involved or participated in all these Scrum ceremonies meeting. Okay, and once it is done, BA will also coordinate with the cross-functionality team to answer their queries. See, you gather requirements, sprint is started, you clarify the doubts. So your doubts will not be completed only in one session. They keep on ask anytime to BA. I want to give a I want to get a clarity on this. I want to get clarity on this. So you should be able to answerable their queries. Okay. So basically, BA will be mostly coordinating with the cross-functional team. So when I say cross-functional team, these people are called cross-functional team. Remember this term. Okay. These people we call it as cross-functional team. Okay. So as a BA, when you are working in the team, most of the work you will be doing by coordinating with the cross team. You got it? Who is cross team? Can you please tell me? Cross functionality team, who we call in the real time?
Developers and QA testers.
Very good. Who will coordinate with them?
BA.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So yeah, once it is completed, once this IT team is completed, the software implementation, once they are given a demonstration to the business analyst and product owner and other, there will be a testing will take place. Testing, how to do the testing, I just now explained you. Once testing is completed, they will launch to the users. Users in the sense, the one who is going to use the application at the end, they will call it as users, guys. The one who is going to use the application is called users. Who's using phone pay, Google Pay, Zomato, Book My Show? We, right? We all currently on daily basis. Agree or not? Right, Shakshit?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we ourselves called as users. Okay. In the workspace also, once it is implemented and done testing, we will be deploying it to the users. So users can start use the application from their end. We are delivering it to the users. Could you please rejoin using the same link, because this meeting will last only for 40 minutes? Please rejoin the same link.